the end of polarity, the end of family. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is The Elimination of Gender, a serious investigation into the quiet dismantling of human polarity and its ripple effects on identity, biology, and society itself. Today's topic is not abstract, it's not symbolic, it's structural. We are going to talk about how the dissolution of masculine and feminine polarity is directly contributing to the breakdown of the family, the confusion of roles, and ultimately, the erasure of natural human reproduction and interdependence. To begin, we must define what we mean by polarity. In energetic terms, polarity refers to the complementary forces that exist within and between humans, most often expressed as masculine and feminine. This is not about rigid gender roles. It's not about stereotypes. It's about the natural biological, hormonal, and behavioral balances that have formed the foundation of human reproduction and relationship dynamics for millennia. Masculine energy typically represents direction, structure, and external drive. Feminine energy typically represents nurture, receptivity, and internal complexity. When in balance, these forces create cohesion, attraction, and life. When removed or suppressed, confusion and disconnection take their place. For centuries, families operated based on these complementary roles, not always perfectly, not always fairly, but with a fundamental biological logic. The father provided external support and protection. The mother provided internal stability and nurture. Together, they created a dynamic that supported both survival and the emotional development of children. That structure didn't emerge from ideology. It emerged from nature. But in recent decades, that polarity has been rebranded as oppressive. We've been taught to reject roles, ignore differences, and flatten the spectrum of human identity into sameness. What we're seeing now is the result. Masculine traits are pathologized. Feminine traits are commodified. Men are told to be more sensitive, more passive, less assertive. Women are told to be more independent, more dominant, less emotional. The outcome is a society where both sexes are being pulled toward a neutral behavioral zone that serves the demands of a labor market and digital economy, but not the needs of families or future generations. This collapse of polarity directly undermines the family unit. When no one knows their role, no one fulfills their role. The rise of dual-income households and child-free lifestyles is not just about economics. It's about the absence of energetic balance. With both partners operating in masculine mode, goal-oriented, career-driven, emotionally detached, there is no room left for vulnerability, softness, or nurture. The polarity that fuels attraction is replaced with performance. And without attraction, relationships don't form. Families don't start. Children don't come. Or if they do, they enter unstable environments with no clear models for emotional structure. This isn't just theory, it's demographic fact. Marriage rates are plummeting. Birth rates are collapsing. Divorce is increasingly initiated by women citing emotional unavailability or role confusion. Men report feeling unnecessary, aimless, and displaced. Women report feeling exhausted, unsupported, and unfulfilled. The polarity that once created interdependence, where strengths and weaknesses were balanced, has been replaced by competition and mutual burnout. Now, layer in synthetic gender ideology, hormonal disruption, and AI-driven companionship, and the confusion only deepens. Young people today are being raised in an environment where gender is not only fluid, it's irrelevant. Boys are not taught to lead or provide. Girls are not taught to nurture or bond. Instead, everyone is being encouraged to find their own path, detached from biological orientation or generational roles. In theory, that sounds freeing. In practice, it's producing a generation with no template for building stable relationships, no language for expressing desire, and no incentive to reproduce. And this is where depopulation enters the picture. Because when polarity collapses, reproduction collapses. No family, no birth, no future. It's that simple. Human life is not sustained through ambition or productivity. It is sustained through union. And that union, whether heterosexual or otherwise, requires polarity. It requires complementarity. The moment that dynamic is erased, replaced, or reprogrammed, the entire structure of human civilization begins to dissolve. We also have to examine the strategic incentives behind this trend. A society of strong families is hard to control. It doesn't need constant intervention from government, corporations, or algorithms. A household with clear polarity, mutual respect, and shared purpose is naturally resilient. But a society of isolated individuals, each emotionally stunted, hormonally dysregulated, and spiritually ungrounded, is much easier to manage. It consumes more. It questions less. It doesn't build legacy. It builds dependence. In many ways, we've mistaken disruption for progress. We've allowed the eradication of masculine leadership and feminine receptivity to be reframed as liberation. But what we've created instead is an identity vacuum, one where people no longer know how to relate to each other, how to care for each other, or how to build anything beyond themselves. That's not evolution. That's fragmentation. And it's worth asking, who profits from a world without polarity? The answer is simple. Every system that profits from disconnection. The pharmaceutical industry profits when people are emotionally unstable and hormonally unbalanced. The tech industry profits when people seek digital intimacy over human intimacy. The AI industry profits when synthetic companions become easier than navigating real relationships. And global institutions profit when populations become too weak, too confused, or too biologically compromised to reproduce or resist. The family has always been a microcosm of society. When families break, society breaks. And the family doesn't break through chaos alone. It breaks through engineered confusion. Remove polarity, and you remove direction. Remove direction, and you create dependency. This is not about bringing back outdated gender roles. It's about preserving the energetic structure that allows human beings to create life, form bonds, and protect each other from systems that see them as nothing more than data. We are standing in the ashes of the nuclear family, not because we failed to adapt, but because we failed to preserve balance. Masculinity is not toxic. Femininity is not weak. Polarity is not oppression. It is nature's architecture. And when you demolish that architecture, what replaces it is not freedom. It is substitution. Artificial wombs instead of mothers. Digital husbands instead of fathers. Designer embryos instead of children born from love. The path forward will require deep discernment. We must understand that not all progress is beneficial, and not all rebellion is revolutionary. There is value in polarity. There is power in structure. And without it, the human species doesn't evolve. It erodes. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.